The case studies, right? As we normally do while we have lectures, so that we can have more understanding about the subject and we can, multiply the knowledge when it comes to doing some job with the industry. Let me take a very, very random, proposition, and that is more on, while we do strategic formulation, what is the significance of mission? We often, come across a lot of literature on, the mission thing, that we must have a mission statement because if you have a mission statement, it means a lot to the business. And as a theorist, as a teacher, we have oftenly being asked by the students that, so what is the significance of having mission? But we also realize while we go to any corporate house of a company, they have boldly they have mentioned the mission statement. I think it makes a sense also that mission is something firms take very seriously. So here comes the questions to you. Why is the firm has a mission statement? What does it signifies? And does it play a role? And what does it signifies? So I wish to ask the MBA student first. Those are into second 2 years MBA program. What they mean by the term mission? Yeah, mission statement. Anyone of you? Jayashree,
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
good morning to you. Tell us. Mission statement.
Okay, sir. So you're asking a question from me? Actually, I just joined. So can you repeat the question?
The question is, we do have mission statement. Oftenly, if you go to the corporate house of any company, they in the reception itself they mentioned the whole mission statement, which means that it has some significance. It's not only the thing which normally we have a discussion on, but it must have a significance also. That's why it has been given so much of importance. It is being placed as statement into the corporate houses. So, as per you, what does it signify? What do you mean by the term mission statement? Although I have done one small, uh, discussion also, I guess, that mission has two part. One is BHAG and second is envision future. I hope that you people are able to recollect that also. So, anyways, now, what do you mean by the term mission statement? And what
So
does it
mission
is?
statement is a like kind of a plan of action that the company takes forward to achieve their goals. They have a mission to achieve for the company.
Okay, good. Like Akanksha said, the mission gives an idea about the organization, right? True. Anyone else? Radha, would like to say something? Akanksha also added it shows the ideology of the firm, followers, and yes, it talks about the ideology. Very right. Radha, would like to add something quickly? Priyanshi, Priyakshi, Ujjwal, would like to add something? All right. So let me give us the. We must have the reasons why we have mission statement in place. So a few questions which we normally as a company have in our mind. And in order to answer those questions, we have a mission statement in place. The very first question which comes to the mind of a businessman or a business is, why is the firm is in business? Why we are doing the business? Uh, what are our economic goals, right? Why we are doing business? First thing which should come and which should also give our stakeholders the reason that why they are with us as a company, why they like to continue their faith with us. So the first question which comes to the mind, which actually pushes us to create the mission statement, is why is the company is in business, and what is our economic goals, right? I will talk about the mission statements of few companies also, but before that, I wish to tell you about the reasons, about the questions that normally strikes to the mind of the stakeholders, owners of the companies, or any form of person who is actually directly or indirectly involved with the company. Third thing, which is very important, which actually being supplemented by mission statement, is why is our operating philosophy in terms of quality, company image, and self concept? What is our operating philosophy? Why do we operate? Why we are operating into a business? Why we are operating into a specific industry? Why not other industry? And what is that philosophy in terms of quality, in terms of image, in terms of self concept, in terms of you know uh, our operations? What are our core competency? This is again a great question which should be answered to the company, its owners, or anyone who is directly or indirectly associated. What is what are our core competencies? What is our competitive advantage? What customer do and can we serve? What kind of customers we are catering? Does everybody is our customer? For example, a company who is into soap manufacturing, suppose Unilever Limited, for instance, they're into cosmetics, they're into FMCG business. So, what what customer do and can we serve? What kind of customer we are catering? Does every household is our customer? If yes, how we can cater them? So, our mission statement should reflect any and every possible answers to these questions. And one more, how do we view our responsibility towards our stakeholders, stockholders, employees, community, environment, social issues, and competitors? As a firm, as a responsible firm or a business, we are also accountable towards our competitors. We must have a healthy competitive practices. Our competitors should feel competitive with us while they're into the common ecosystem. So the whole set of questions that I have asked you or I discussed with you should be answered into a single sentence, which is called a mission statement, right? The first question is why the firm is in business. Second is what is the economic goals of that company. Third is what is operating philosophy in terms of quality, company's image, and self concept. What is the core competency of the business and what is the competitive advantage? Then what customer do and can we serve, right? And then how do we view our responsibility towards our stakeholders, our stockholders, our employees, our community, the environment, and the social issues related, and also to our competitors. So these all questions, these five, six odd questions should be reflected, should be answered through a single statement, which is called as mission statement. Now, if you simply have the chance to Google and see the mission statement of any world class company, any company which is suppose your favorite company, McD's for example, or KFC, or any Compton Grieve or any odd company, you got to know that majority of these companies are writing their mission statement in a single sentence, and they are able to cater all the possible answers to the all these questions that I've asked you or discussed with you. All these six, seven odd questions will be answered through that single statement. So, a mission statement, this is now your homework. This is your kind of, self help do it yourself task, that you just need to see the website of the company you find favorable, your favorite company or your future employer, and see what their mission statement is all about. But by and large, I'm very sure that while you read the mission statement of this company, one thing is very clear. You will got to know that how these company will like to see themselves in future. What is their envisioned plan? How they can see themselves in future. It will be reflected in that statement, right? And how these companies are able to manage their core competency in a due course from past to now and from now to future. So two things are reflected in the vision statement, mission statement. First is companies envision future, and second is their core competency and competitive advantage. Right. So suppose, let me take another example, because majority of Indians are known for doing jobs with the companies after completing their MBA, and few of them are also interested to have their own startups and entrepreneurial acts. So while you start your own business, you will be more intended to come out with the mission statement also, because it is your own business. So what actually helps the company to formulate the mission statement? What are the mission statement all about, and how a company can formulate the mission statement, right? So what are the do and don'ts while we start doing writing the mission statement? The first thing which is very important is, as per my understanding, the product or the services that business is dealing in should provide benefits at least equal to its price. What does it mean? It means that whatever price you're quoting to the business, the price you're quoting to the market, your product and service quality should confirm that price, right? Similarly, suppose I'm KFC, for example. I'm running a company called KFC or a similar company, and for a piece of burger, I'm charging $120. So that 120 amount should be justified enough, right? It should have that value, should have that taste, it should have that differential that my counterpart or my competitor is not able to deliver. So while we formulate the mission statement, it starts with the product or service, its quality, and how I can retain my customer in the next purchase. This is essentially important, right? So I request you to please see from that perspective. A small assignment you can take home is, you can write your own mission statement if you are an entrepreneur, if you are planning to have your own company. And it entirely depends. While you start writing that mission statement, one thing you should be very clear about is which industry you're working in. What is your stakeholders, right? What kind of stakeholders you're taking care of? In what ecosystem you're working? A lot of other things, right? So I request you to please see from the lens of, from the eyes of a company which is basically run by an entrepreneur, so that you can understand the real meaning of the term mission statement. Like, for example, Infosys, Narayan Murthy has come out when he started Infosys with Nitin Nilekani, and they start writing the mission statement. So mission statement 30 years before was more reflected in terms of their future plan 30 years ahead, right? So now, then, now, and future, right? Then, now, and then. This is very important actually, how we can relate it. Now, let me take an example of Ashok Lenient. I hope that you are clear with Ashok Leyland's. It's a very famous company of commercial vehicle, right? Uh, Trucks they are into, cargo trucks they are into, right? They are focusing upon few things. I request you to please see the website of Ashok Leyland, and you can learn through the website what is their mission statement. But one thing I wish to tell you about Ashok Leyland is, while they drafted their mission statement, the philosophy of the company, which is a reflection of the mission statement, which is reflected on their mission statement, is they focused upon few values. and it is reflected in the mission statement also. I request you to please see, Google it and see yourself. They wanted to be the international company. The first value they wanted to create in their so-called strategy in action or their mission statement is to want to be a truly international company. Second is they wanted to create a speedy value to the customers. Who are the customers? We are not the customers. The customers are the business customers, the transporters, the big companies which required cargo, which required transportation facility, vehicles at place. So they wanted to create a speedy value by providing different variety of transportation vehicles to the customers of different sizes, different volume, different capacities. Similarly, they wanted to be creator of new business vehicles for public transportation and for the utility transportation. Then they keep on innovating and they wanted to be ethical. So these 5 points, which are internationalization of the business, speedy value, creation of the new creations, innovation, and ethics, is being reflected in their mission statement. And I also request you to please see their mission statement so that you can correlate that their philosophy to become international company, their philosophy to become a value added company, a great creator in terms of innovation and ethical on the other side, is reflected in their mission statement. So mission statement is not only a piece of English sentence. It's not a simple statement. It reflects on anything. It reflects on the real time uh, so-called insights story of the company, how ethical the company is, how better a company can philosophize its business. This is reflected in true sense through the mission statement, and it has its own significance. That's why I'm stressing more on mission statement thing. Now we have other examples also. We can also you can be able to understand through. Let me take an example randomly. We have Indian Railways uh, container business called as Concord. How many of you are aware about Concord? नाम सुना है आपने Concord का? टेक्स्ट ऑन टेक्स्ट बॉक्स में मैंने लिखा है. गुंजन, आर यू अवेयर अबाउट Concord? What Concord is? Anshika Rawat, have you heard Concord? No? Indian Railway Concord. How many of you have heard it? Ujjwal,
No, sir.
good. Indian Railway, as you know, that it's considered as the top five, largest network of passenger services, right? Concord is its division actually. Concord is the division of Indian Railway and is a Navaratna company, Container Corporation of India Limited, right? If you're able to have the time, if you're able to manage the time and see the website of Concord, then you got to know that they are into a lot of businesses, including the terminal business, right? They are into container business and rail transportation also, right? And they are into warehousing business also. A lot of things they are doing actually, multiple things they are doing. But when it comes to the corporate mission of the company, why I'm stressing today more on the mission, because it truly reflects a lot of things. I'm sharing one of the link of the Concord mission statement. You can directly navigate yourself to the mission statement of Concord and make it more ease because of the constraint of. Let me take you to yes. Now you can see that your screens are reflecting what Concord to the Concord's website. The punchline is think container, think Concord. Whenever you think about big shipment, you want to have big shipment solution. So Concord is there. This is something their punchline will like to reflect upon. Think container, think Concord. It is written here. Can you see the screen now clearly, everybody? Now, if you go with the Concord corporate mission, so the mission statement is clearly reflecting upon a lot of things. It reflects upon the philosophy of the business. It talks about how business is taking care of the stakeholders and how seriously they are actually in terms of quality and quality concerns, how serious the company is, right? So if you read the mission statement, it is simply stated in three sentences. First is to join its community partners and its stakeholders to make Concord a company of outstanding quality. So in order to achieve the outstanding quality, they want stakeholders should be involved, because the biggest critic for a good company is its own stakeholders, partners. So the partners keep on telling them what is right, what is wrong, so they can ethically achieve the outstanding quality, right? So the first reflection of the mission statement. Can you see this? Yes or no? Anybody? Please unmute yourself and
Yes,
let
sir.
me know. Okay, okay, that's really nice.
Yes,
So
sir.
the first thing is through the involvement of the community partners and the stakeholders, the company will like to achieve the outstanding quality, right? So this is something, the part of integration with the people, with their own people. Own people means the partners, the stakeholders. This company will like to obtain the outstanding quality. This is the first mission of the company. Second is to provide the responsive, cost effective, efficient, reliable logistic solutions to its customer. Who is the customer? Customer are the big houses, the big companies which are actually wanted to have the container business for the shipment purposes. The companies could be, importer, exporters, right? Companies could be commercial vehicle companies. Companies could be, any form of, businesses which required container business for shipment purpose. So as a logistic company, logistics means movement of goods. A company which deals into the movement of goods is called as the logistic companies. So here comes Concord also, being the part of Indian Railway, being the integrated part of the Indian Railway, and being the enterprise which is a Navratna. You can assume what is Navratna. Navratna की दर्जे में कौन कौन companies आती हैं? When we call a PSU a Navratna company, any one of you government job aspirant कौन कौन है आप में से? पता होगा आप लोगों को Navratna companies. Who will tell? Manisha, like to attend this question? Navratna company. When we call a company a Navratna company, Maharatna, Navratna. BHL is Maharatna. ONGC is Maharatna. Concor is Navratna. When we call a company a Navratna. Hmm.
Maybe the company which is more higher standards, like
No, no,
my
no, no. It's about the turnover. It's nothing to do with कुछ भी मत
yeah.
बोलो. Turnover पे depend करता है. If you have a consecutive turnover of a particular amount, right? You need to check it actually. Then you will call as Navratna. And if you're having the higher side, then you will call as Maharatna. It's consecutive record of your track record of turnover. Anyways, now importantly, the turnover, that means this company is a well recognized company and they have a great amount of clienteles, and they are serving their clienteles. Clienteles means the set of clients actually. So they are serving their clients from the very, very longer period of time. And in order to ensure that they ensure that our business delivers very responsive, cost effective, efficient, and reliable services. They're a service provider basically. They don't do manufacturing. They do the servicing. They are the service provider. They take material from one end to another end. Shipment का काम है इनका. इनका business container shipment का है. So they are the logistic solution provider to their customers or clients. पर इन्होंने तीन चीजें ensure कर ली कि हम बहुत responsive हैं, हम cost effective हैं, हम efficient हैं, हम reliable हैं. हमारे अपने competitors से हम ज़्यादा cost effective हैं. We are very efficient, right? And the third thing is we wanted to become the first choice to our customer. If you're thinking about the container business, somebody who can do the container business partnership with you as a company, we are the answer to your problem. So they wanted to be the first choice. This is the mission, that they wanted to be the first site, choice to the customers, to their clients, because this industry has huge competition. It's not the only player. What are the other competitors to Concord? Any one of you? Yeah. Anyone? I can see the faces of operation supply chain and specialization people. You like to attend? No यार, एनटीपीसी कहाँ से आ गए भाई? उज्जवल कहाँ हो, किस इंडस्ट्री में हो तुम? एनटीपीसी ने कब
अरे
लॉजिस्टिक्स
सर वो
शुरू किए मुझे?
पुराना पुराना आंसर है सर वो
अच्छा,
जब
ये
आपने
पुराना
पहले
आंसर है।
पूछा था
ओके ओके,
मुझसे
नवरत्न
महारत्न
महारत्न
नवरत्न
वाला। ओके
नवरत्न।
ओके ओके। अच्छा, ठीक है, दैट्स रियली नाइस। सॉरी, मैंने अभी देखा। नाउ टेल अस, हु आर द कॉम्पिटिटर्स टू कॉनकोर? कंटेनर बिजनेस में और कौन सी इंडस्ट्री है? विच इंडस्ट्री, विच फर्म्स आर इन कंटेनर बिजनेस? आंखें खोलो, 9:30 बज गए हैं दोस्तों। इन्वॉल्व करो अपने आप को क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशंस में। ऐसे नहीं हो पाएगा बैठ कर आप चाय की चुस्कियां ले रहे हो या सो रहे हो अभी भी। पार्टिसिपेट इन टू डिस्कशन। Anyways, now just need to obtain this list from internet or yourself. Now, when it comes to customers, they must have the first choice in mind as us. So Concord is actually more indulged into customer-friendly business. They want it to be more cost-effective. They want it to be the first choice. They want it to be a reliable logistic company, and they reflected everything they want from themselves and to be the most dearer company to the customers. They mentioned it into a three statement, right? And they call it the mission statement. So mission statement is a true reflection of, right, company's philosophy. This is something I want to tell you about, right? So let us get back to the discussion now. Now, when it comes to mission statement, it plays a role. Like I've told about the mission statement of Concord, and it shows that the company is so self-reliant. Company is reflecting upon a lot of things. And what you can do is, in order to understand more about, you can simply take an industry and get into the competitors of that industry. For example, mobile manufacturing company. You can go through the website of Motorola and learn through what is their mission statement, how Motorola's mission statement is different from Nokia's, how Nokia's mission statement different from iPhone, right? And you can learn yourself how these matters a lot to the businesses, because your customers, your corporate clients, they do business, but they oftenly visit your website and your documents, your mission documents, so that once they're satisfied, then they start talking about on the table, they can discuss about the negotiation. Mission statement is not merely a discussion, which is actually very bookish, but also a real-time discussion. Normally, mission statement is well thought of, a statement that company usually pour on their websites or on their mission statement or their routine, business correspondence. Very important for you to understand. So, a mission statement, let me at the nutshell tell you, a mission statement is a statement that presents a firm's strategic intent, designate to focus the energies and resources of companies on achieving a desirable future. So that it's a future reflection. It's a reflection of the future, that whatever resources we have, whatever energies we have, we are actually focusing upon a, a particular, desired outcome out of it. So you must know through examples, you must know what mission statement is all about. Now, I wish to tell you more about, the role of the board of directors. We have something called BODs, right? BODs are the group of stakeholders elected by through the annual general meeting. They are the set of people or representatives which represents the stakeholder of the company, right? And every company, as you know, that they have to conduct one annual general meeting every year, at least once in a year. And during that annual general meeting, the election of board of directors happen. And normally, the promoters of the company become the board of directors because they know the nitty gritty and the basics of the company in a very great sense. So normally, BODs are elected also, and their promoters also become the BODs. Like in Reliance Group, let me take an example of both companies separately. We had two companies under Reliance Group. First was known as ADAG, Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, which was being run by Anil Ambani. So if you simply go through the board of directors list of Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, you got to know that Anil Ambani, being the promoter and the founder of the company, is MD and the promoter of the company, essentially the part of BOD, and other representatives, including the lead banker. Suppose KV Kamat was with ICICI Bank that time. He was MD of ICICI Bank. He was also the part of board of directors of Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group and other representatives by the which are coming through the election process of annual general meeting. They were the part of BOD of ADAG Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group. Same goes with Reliance Industries, which is being led by Mukesh Ambani. They have a lot of people on board, including Nita Ambani. They have few independent directors also. They have promoters also. Mukesh Ambani himself is a part, right? And a lot of other members from banker side, from the side of other partners, they have the BODs. So we have a specific composition of BODs. We have little reservation for women also as per Companies Act and other compliance. We have representative of banks or bankers also. So BOD is nothing which is a composition of the people on board, which are the chief decision makers and better known as per your bookish knowledge, they are called as the top notch manager of the company. They are the top managers, top on the hierarchy of the pyramid. So they are the people, set of people which are the group of the stakeholders which represents and they are the people which represent the larger chunk of the stakeholders, and they are the people which are into the strategic positions, and they are responsible to oversee the creation and accomplishment of company's mission. This is something I wanted to tell you, that board of directors are the set of people, the set of representatives which are there to ensure that the company should move ahead with the mission statement they have designed. There should be no deviation in terms of the action to achieve the mission statement. So mission statement come first logically, then the stakeholders they represent, they select the or elect board of directors just to pursue actions in order to obtain the mission statement. This is the relationship between BODs and mission statement, right? This is very important to understand. Now, when it comes to BODs, we have a lot of people. Uh, every company has its own BOD, right? They are independent to take selection of the people. And we in India we have VP system, as you know. We have vice president system. In public sector unit we have MD system, right? And in the companies which are influenced by the Western thought process, they have the system of CEO. These three things are different when it comes to BODs, but equivalent positions. Let me take an example of Maruti Udyog Limited. When it was purely public sector unit, as you know that Maruti Udyog Limited in 1981 it was being founded, and it was being founded by Government of India. Sanjay Gandhi was the brainchild. It was a brainchild of Sanjay Gandhi, elder son of Indira Gandhi ji. So they come out with Maruti Udyog Limited. It was a venture between Indian government and uh, Japanese counterpart Suzuki Limited. They collaborated. They had an understanding about technology transfer and a lot of things that you already aware about. So they ventured, and IS officers normally being appointed as the MD of the company, managing director. So the last MD before the dilution takes place, that Maruti or Government of India's stake was being diluted. Jagdish Khattar was the last, MD, because that time I was doing my graduation. So because of the GK question, I was aware about. I still remember the name. So Jagdish Khattar was the MD that time. Afterwards, dilution happened actually. Government of India has diluted its stake, and Suzuki Japan has taken over the MD ship, and they converted MD into CEO. So Mr. Suzuki himself is a CEO from almost a decade time, more than a decade time. So they have the MD system now. It's a fully owned. Majority stakeholders are from Suzuki India, Suzuki Japan. So they have the CEO system. Why I'm telling you all this, because you must know as a student that where comes which kind of hierarchical structure is there, which philosophy the industry is driving the philosophy, which philosophy is being driven by the or the industry is driven by which philosophy. Whereas if you see the Concord or Indian Railway, they still have the MD system. They have elected member by government of India, probably the secretary of that particular industry or the department or concerned department of that industry. They have the MD, still have the MD system. If you go with the private companies, they have the CEO system, right? Motivated by the Western thought process, because in America and in UK they have the CEO system. So the chief executive officer, which is known as MD in Indian system, will be the chief of the whole business operation. Like in Pepsi, Indra Nooyi was the CEO. So she was being elected for a period of time by the stakeholders, right? By the promoters, and she became the CEO. Like Sundar Pichai and all, they are the CEOs. Now, under CEO, we have the range of hierarchy. We have the people, those are taking care of the financial affairs, which are known as CFO, Chief Finance Officer. Those are taking care of the IT affairs, which are known as CIO, Chief Informatic Officers. We have people which are taking care of, we have a person who is taking care of the operations, which is known as COO, Chief Operating Officer. So we have such kind of hierarchy within CEO. They are responsible to report to CEO, but collectively CEO plus CIO, CFO, COO, they are called as the board of directors. This is something I wanted to tell you, right? So by and large, yes, CTO is Chief Technical Officer, right? So now, importantly, we have the full-fledged hierarchy. We should understand that that is known as board of directors. We call it by any name, but uh, the top-notch managers or the board of directors are responsible to take decisions to set the strategies. This is something I want to tell you. They are the set of people which are responsible to set the strategy for the business, to come out with a mission statement and the thorough action plan in order to achieve the mission statement of the company. And they are also responsible for ensuring that every action should be in concern with the stakeholders of the company, because they are the true representative of the stakeholders. So they have to take care of action plans, and they also need to take care of the ethical side of the business also, right? We have something very interesting now to understand, that is called as agency theory. Why I'm telling you, because it has its own significance. Agency theory. How many of you are aware about the term agency, the concept of agency? Yeah, who will tell? Normally, this is a very much asked question in interviews, which is very much expected while you appear for your dissertation interviews or for online job selection. They normally ask the theories also you learned in your MBA course. The first theory which comes from the organization behavior and this strategic management or any kind of such paper is agency theory. How many of you are aware about the term agency theory? Srishti Sharma, are you aware about एजेंसी? पहले आप एजेंसी बताइए क्या होता है, फिर एजेंसी थ्योरी पे आएंगे. एजेंसी.
So, agency is something like which provide services like in newspaper industry. There are agencies who work for the distribution of the newspaper to the customers.
Okay, fine. So it's not exactly what you have said, but let me take that. Essence remains same. Like, let me take her example, which is nothing to do with the agency theory, but I wish to tell you about is a connectivity between two parties. The parties are agent and principal. Obvious, Akash is right. So let me take an example of the news agency example. उससे आप analogy create कर पाओगे, but it has nothing to do with the agency theory. Like Hindustan Times is a newspaper, right? And they can't directly send newspaper to your doorstep. What does it mean? It means that Hindustan Times, the CEO of Hindustan Times, or the production manager of Hindustan Times, is not able to send newspaper, daily newspaper at your doorstep. He has to devise some mechanism. Any Hindustan Times has to devise some mechanism so that daily fresh newspaper can come to your doorstep by 8 a.m. in the morning. So they are intended to do it, because if they are not able to make it, they will lose the business. They will have a loss, right? So there is a certain time they have to deliver the newspaper. Suppose 8 a.m. After that, न्यूज़पेपर की रेलेवेंस खत्म हो जाएगी. So now, in order to deliver, so they become owner, they become the principal. Principal वही मतलब प्रमुख, मुख्य. प्रिंसिपल यहाँ पे स्कूल का प्रिंसिपल नहीं है, मुख्य वाला प्रिंसिपल है. So as a mukhya business, as a principal business, they have to engage the agencies. Those are able to ensure that the product, that is the newspaper, should be delivered to the subscribers doorstep, which is you, before 8 a.m. Right? So agency, that news agency and its team, the news agency and its team will be responsible to deliver the newspaper on time. So on behalf of principal, on the behalf of the main business, which is the principal, Hindustan Times, agency is responsible to deliver newspaper on time. So whenever, because of any reason, because of rainfall, because of earthquake, or because of any reason, because of logistic issues, because of Kisan Union Andolan on the borders, whatever reason happened, if newspapers delay happened, then you as a customer, Srishti as a customer, will penalize whom? Hindustan Times or the agency? आप किसके साथ नेगोशिएट करते हो? सृष्टि, आप हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स को ब्लेम करोगे या एजेंसी को ब्लेम? यस, आप एजेंसी को बोलोगे कि तुमने न्यूज़पेपर लेट दिया है और वो न्यूज़पेपर उस दिन 12 बजे पहुंचा था, तो आई विल नॉट पे, आई विल कट 3 रुपीज पर डे के हिसाब से. आपने 6 रुपए कम कर दिए कि 2 दिन लेट पहुंचा था. And also, logically as well, that agency is responsible to deliver on behalf of the principal. So whatever business or operations, any form of operation, which Hindustan Time is supposed to do with the clients, with the customers, agency will do on its behalf. This is the relationship between agent, right? That is agency and the principal. This is called agency theory all about. मतलब concept वहीं से लिया है हमने. तो क्या रहता है एजेंसी थ्योरी के अंदर कि जो, अब मैं दोबारा बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स पे आता हूँ, जो आपके बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स हैं वो आपके लिए क्या है? एजेंसी हैं. जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन किसके हैं? प्रिंसिपल के हैं. हु इज द प्रिंसिपल? द कंपनी. वट एवर डिसीजन द कंपनी विल टेक will be held through the agents, will be held through the agency, the BODs. If they are good, आप किसका कॉलर पकड़ोगे? बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स का पकड़ोगे. If they are good, you will appreciate as a stakeholders or the shareholder of the company, you will appreciate the act of the BODs. Right? Now let me take another example. आउटसोर्सिंग में एजेंसी कंसेप्ट बहुत यूज होता है, एजेंसी थ्योरी का बहुत इस्तेमाल होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, you outsource your production to some agency, some company. Like आपने अपना पूरा लॉजिस्टिक, हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स ने अपने लॉजिस्टिक्स का पूरा ऑपरेशन आत्रे न्यूज एजेंसी को दे दिया या शर्मा न्यूज एजेंसी को दे दिया. So that Sharma News Agency will take care of all the logistic activities. If any delay happened, any newspaper कटा फटा है, तो वो Sharma News Agency responsible. This is one of the business activity you outsource virtually. Same happened with a bigger business, right? Suppose Lenovo का पूरा बैच खराब निकलता है. So Lenovo is to be blamed, of course. But internally, Lenovo transferred that risk, that business risk or loss, to that agency who was responsible for the assembly. Every loss or any batch failure or any defect, any batch defect happened with Lenovo will be internally transferred to that agency. They have a contract signed that you, on behalf of Lenovo, will do the operation for, suppose, India. So as an Indian company, you have to have the sensitivity about the market, requirements. Also need to ensure that the material you are using for assembly of Lenovo's product will be surely and solely your responsibility. So outsourcing में बहुत use होता है agency theory का. And I hope that you understand that outsourcing is in every business, every functional area, whether it is human resource management, whether it through hiring a right talent and all, or maybe into production, or maybe into marketing or any other domain. This is important for you to understand how agency theory work as a domain, right? और ये concept आया यहाँ से है, जैसे अभी हमने न्यूज़पेपर का एग्जांपल लिया, एनालॉजी वो है, आया कंसेप्ट बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स से है, जिसमें आप बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को चयनित कर लेते हैं और एक एजेंसी यानी बीओडी काम करती है बिजनेस के बिहाफ पे, प्रिंसिपल के बिहाफ पे, राइट? और ये कंसेप्ट आज की डेट में बहुत यूज होता है, कहाँ पर? आउटसोर्सिंग को लेकर बहुत ज़्यादा यूज होता है, राइट? सो कॉनकोर की वेबसाइट जरूर देखिएगा आप लोग, आपको यू गॉट टू नो लॉट ऑफ वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट्स. Now I'm taking you some contemporary issues of strategic management, and the very first contemporary issue is corporate social responsibility. Although I understand that you have gone through a lot of things on corporate social responsibility, and maybe you're aware about the concept of corporate social responsibility. And in order to make it more interesting, I wish to tell you more on business ethics and how CSR and business ethics are interlinked. Right. Now, as we understand that we have ample of stakeholders, right? So I have a question for Nidhi. Nidhi, how many stakeholders can company may have? How many stakeholders a company may have? Please list them. Stakeholders. What do you mean by stakeholder first? The question is like this. What do you mean by the term stakeholders, and what are the types and variants of stakeholders? Nidhi. Okay, Aniksha. Anshika Rawat. Stakeholders. Stakeholder. Ashna Mungai. Stakeholders.
Our stakeholders can be our investors, our customers, our employees, government, and society too.
Yes. So any party who is interested in the fate of the business is called as a stakeholder. So it could be anyone. Our creditors also even, because paisa diya इन्होंने. So our creditors, our employees, our customers, our suppliers, the government, unions, trade unions, competitors, local community, general public, anyone who is actually directly or indirectly associated with our business is called a stakeholder, right? Now, importantly, they are interested in the acts that the business is doing, right? So the business, on the other hand, is responsible towards the stakeholders. Am I right, Archana? If the
Yes, sir.
stakeholders are interested in business because they are directly or indirectly associated with the business, therefore, on the other hand, on the other side, right, you can see that the business is also should be responsible. The business should be responsible towards the stakeholders. So whatever acts the business are doing should be ethical, should be in interest to the stakeholders, should be in kind of faith, should be faith based, right? Should not destroy the so-called faith of the stakeholders. Otherwise, what will happen? They will not believe in the acts of the business, and they will start leaving the business, right? Creditors will no more will give you the loan or short-term working capital credits. Employees will leave the company. Suppliers will not continue their contract with the business, right? Customer will leave the company and join some other company, right? Government will show disinterest. They will not give you any form of tax benefits or any form of they will have the trust issue with you. So government will keep watching your acts. They will show the distrust. Similarly, general public, which are the potential shareholders also, will not see your business seriously. Local community will, keep, putting vigilance on your businesses so that, they may have. For example, let me take an example of uh, Bhopal gas tragedy. Have you heard about Bhopal gas tragedy?
Yes, sir.
Which was a company behind Bhopal gas tragedy? Union Carbonate. So Union Carbonate, after the Bhopal gas tragedy, was being blacklisted. They had to wrap up their business from India. Although it was a sheer accident which happened actually. But that accident has took the life of a lot of people, thousands of people, and make the generation after generation have the respiratory issues. As you know, it was one of the tragedy happened in India, at industrial tragedy actually. So the people which are locally surrounded by the Union Carbide, plant, because of the air, emission of the fall gas happened in that fateless night. A lot of people had lost their life. So out of this particular thing, what I wanted to say is, because of the this mishappening happened, government, stakeholders, creditors, suppliers, and whole chunk of stakeholders showed disinterest in this company and decided to pull up their interest from the company, financially and socially also. Financially, it affects the financial growth of the company. Also, it reflects upon the so-called general image of the company, right? So as a company, we have responsibility. We have a social responsibility towards the society, towards the stakeholders, right? And through the act of the business we are doing, through the businesses we are doing, we have to impart that corporate, we have to impart that social responsibility. So as a corporate, as a business, we have a larger pool of stakeholders to be taken care of, and we have to take care of them through our acts, through our ethical acts. For example, Volkswagen. I hope that you guys are aware about Volkswagen. Recently, they manipulated. Recently means 2 3 years back. Story it is. They manipulated the engine efficiency. They actually manipulated the device so that the reading while their engines, newly developed engine, was in testing phase. They put a kind of manipulation within the engine that it shows low emission. If it is low emission, then it will fall into a green product. So they manipulated the engine, and they are able to place themselves into uh, tier third category of the green products. And through that new green label, they're able to achieve great faith of the customers like you and me, the routine customers, the regular customers. And once this particular scam come into picture, they lost the whole fate of the people. Government decided to ban them. Then they fight a long file suit in the civil courts. So this unethical practice actually come in a bigger way. For short-term benefits, the company manipulated the testing, compliance test. But in the longer run, when this thing was exposed, they lost the branding as well. They lost their brand, they lost their positioning in the industry. So the ripple effect is there. There's a huge, impact of misdeeds of the businesses to them also and to the whole industry as well. People start, uh, stop having faith on these kind of companies. We have similar examples. We have lot many examples. Satyam could be an example when Satyam was because of uh, internal transfer of funds from one company from Satyam uh, uh, to his sister concerned, a sister business, financial company, Medclass. Uh, Mr. Raju has transferred the stock to his son's company, and because of this, without taking permission from the stakeholder, the company faced a huge amount of financial distress, and shareholders felt really bad about it. And later on, Satyam was being diluted and was being sold to Tech Mahindra. So it happened, right? So we, as a responsible company, we have the responsibility towards the stakeholders. So whatever acts we are doing should be ethical and should reflect on our uh, responsibility. It should act as a should reflect upon the responsibility, our responsibility towards the society. So I wish to tell you about the social responsibility. Again, our social responsibility should be reflected in our mission statement. That is the reason why I'm putting this thing. Although CSR is a very, very contemporary topic, but when it comes to a company's mission, that should be reflected. The CSR acts or CSR responsibilities should be reflected into the mission statement, because it is the only thing which club our internal stakeholders and our external stakeholder, which club together our internal stakeholders and internal and stakeholder, both of them, right? Our customers, suppliers, creditors, government, union, competitors, general public, and our internal stakeholders, our executive officers, board of directors, stakeholders, employees. So mission statement is something is at the center, right? So let me take an example. Let me take few really very good examples, which actually helps the company to improvise their social positioning and through CSR acts, through CSR initiative, right? And Dell, for example, I hope that most of you have used the product of Dell. Dell was the first PC manufacturing company from USA, which uh, which had the provision. They made a business policy that if a customer, because as you know that the PC products of the company, the product which are being manufactured as a PC component got obsolete after a particular period of time, because this product is very very uh, technical product that a computer we are using or a PC you are using, because of advancement in the technology, will be obsolete after 2 years of time. So they have the provision, they created a provision, a business policy they have made, that the hard disk of any old PC will be replaced without charging the money. That means if you are using Dell's XYZ version, and XYZ plus one version has come into the market, the advanced version of the PC, then for the rest of the product you have to pay the value, whatever value comes you have the exchange. But for the hard disk you do not need to pay extra single penny. It will be purely replaceable, and the old RDC, old hard disk will be replaced by the new hard disk with uh, the enhanced capacity. Suppose it is 1 terabyte of hard disk you wanted to replace, which was there in your old PC. Now you want to replace it with 2 terabyte. You do not need to pay extra money. So, subject to the condition, it is a part of your Dell original machine. And this was the first company who actually come out with the recycling of the old hard disk, 100% recycling, because it is the electronic waste. They recycled it and use it for the further purpose, because hard disk has a lot of components within, lithium and otherwise other things. So they properly recycled it internally, and they replace it for the customer. So you are getting a brand new hard disk with a higher capacity. You just need to surrender the old version of the hard disk. So Dell was the first company. Similarly, Toshiba. I really acknowledge Toshiba for kind of PC battery replacement they have started, because as you understand that laptops, most of the laptops that we normally use it after a particular period of usage, their battery life or battery so-called charging capacity got distorted. So Toshiba decided that they will have a replacement. So the whosoever is the authorized customer of Toshiba's laptops, they can simply surrender the batteries and they can get new battery without by paying a single penny. Although they have the provision of the enhancement of the warranty period on this battery, and they initially charge amount for that, but the replacement amount is much higher that Toshiba has paid for the old customers. So that's benefit Dell or Toshiba in two form. First is they are able to retain their old customers. Second is they are imparting the social responsibility. We have a lot of examples surrounded us, where we can understand the companies decided to move one footstep ahead in order to collaborate and to feel their customer homely, and feel their customer more cared by coming up with their corporate social responsibilities, and they reflect it into the business mission statement also, that we want to be a more customer friendly company, for example. So this is the friendliness I wish to tell you about. That Toshiba and Dell could be an example where you can quote, right? So tomorrow we will discuss the other dimension of and there's few methods I will tell you. I will take few theories, like today we have taken agency theory, and I'm putting uh, this lecture recording. We have already used. We have already recorded this lecture, so that you can use it for the purpose, right? And I hope your next teacher is waiting for the lecture.